Hello and welcome back to the Civil Barrister channel with me, James Wilson from Park Square Barristers in Leeds. About a month ago, I did a short video on a pilot protocol being put forward by the North Eastern Circuit to deal with fast and multi-track trials which were running in Sheffield, Teesside and Newcastle. The window for that protocol was the 1st of June to the 31st of July 2020. Now we're still within that protocol period, so if you've got cases listed within that period, the video following on from this one will be the video which I uploaded in relation to that protocol. But what that pilot protocol did was create a triage system, really, in terms of three types of cases which are before the courts. Red, can't be done remotely, or both sides agree that it can't be done remotely. Amber, one side thinks it can be done remotely and the other doesn't. And green, both sides agree that it can be done remotely. It then set out what the parties should do to achieve their agreed goals in those cases. Back end of last week, the North Eastern Circuit released a new protocol for the period 3rd of August to the 25th of September. Now, different from the pilot protocol, it's to be followed by all North East Circuit chambers and council in relation to all county court fast and multi-track trials. So no, not BPP cases, just county court cases. As with the pilot protocol, the aim of this protocol is to get those appropriate cases which can be heard. The courts are seeing a huge drop-off in effective trials, obviously, and is aware that there is a lot of front-loaded work which is required to get a case which objectively is suitable to be heard remotely, but might not be suitable because the work hasn't been done, the extra work hasn't been done. So this is really to front load the work, identify who should be doing the work and when. The protocol also highlights some guidance from the judiciary in terms of e-bundles. Now again, I've done a short video which, if you're on the YouTube channel, will appear at the end of this video. If you're watching on Instagram, then if you just search the index on IGTV for North Eastern Circuit Protocol, then you'll find that video. Alternatively, click on the link in my bio and that will take you to the YouTube channel, which will also have the links to the documents. But just as an aside, the guidance from the judiciary on the PDF bundles adds in a requirement for them to be formatted in what's called OCR, which converts a picture, a PDF, into a document which can be edited and highlighted and amended. Having spent the weekend compiling a trial bundle and converting some of the pages into OCR format, I'm going to do a video on how I did that. I ran into some dead ends, I made some errors, and hopefully I can do a video which will assist you in that. Going back to the protocol then, so the onus really, the headline is the onus is on chambers clerks and trial instructed counsel to really try and take a lead on this. And that's not for any other reason other than the fact that I think the court is conscious that there are litigators who are running 100, 120 litigated files whilst at home, whilst homeschooling, whilst changing nappies, and there's a real sense that if counsel can take a little bit more of a lead on this, then matters which can be heard will be heard, as opposed to them getting to 7 to 14 days before trial and realising that actually there's not enough time to do the work to get them on. So counsel will identify in their diaries effectively all the fast and multi-track trials within that period, August and September. Then the clerks will contact the counsel and let them know, and the counsel will contact the instructing solicitors. Paragraph 3, obviously where courts have sent out case management orders, the parties must comply with those orders in good time. But it's the proactivity and cooperation which is really stressed. It really needs a bit of work from both sides, a bit of goodwill from both sides to comply with orders early. It takes longer to compile a remote e-bundle, although I have to admit I haven't compiled many trial bundles, but having done one or done a few, I think it's hard. It takes a bit longer, certainly whilst you're learning, to do an e-bundle than it does to photocopy a bundle, take out pages and put pages in and then copy it again. So a bit of proactivity to get these cases in good order early. Paragraph 4, so counsel will talk to the instructing solicitor as early as possible and look into the practicalities of whether this trial can be heard remotely. Now, if both counsel on both sides are doing that, then that's 4 heads are better than 2 and 2 heads are better than 1. So hopefully it's sharing a bit of the workload. The deadline for the 26th of June, so all those trials in August and September will already be listed. So a deadline by the end of this month, effectively, or the last Friday of the month, that parties will contact the court and tell the court whether the case is red, green or amber. When discussing the practicalities of a remote case, the parties should have regard to the appendix here. That's the abilities of the parties' legal reps and witnesses to participate in a remote hearing. Now, just going through these briefly, the need for suitable equipment, phone, computer and reliable Wi-Fi. Now, that's a matter of fact, really, in terms of if you have a witness at home who doesn't have a laptop and doesn't have decent Wi-Fi, perhaps lives in a rural area, then on the face of it, that person can't take part in the hearing. But that doesn't need to be the end of it, in my view, because that person has a solicitor, that solicitor has an office, and that office will be almost empty, I would suspect. At least it will have a conference room. It can be, the client can come in socially distanced without having any physical contact with anybody, and can be put into a room with all of the required equipment, hard copy or e-bundle, laptop, a telephone, so that the solicitor can talk to them. Need for a suitable quiet space, again a matter of fact. Now, in terms of accessing the bundle, if the bundle has got any size to it, then it won't be acceptable in a normal email mailbox. So the party in reality needs access to a Dropbox, or the person who's sending the bundle needs to send it via a Mimecast or some such file data sharing room. If not, then they can have a hard copy, but only if the parties have been proactive and got that bundle sorted in a much earlier time frame, certainly in fast track cases, than would normally be the case. And lastly, telephone contact details and, if possible, email for the parties. I just missed off there actually 1D, the need to give and take instructions. That's fact specific, but what I would say is where the case is suitable, I would suggest that the client and counsel exchange mobile telephone numbers and things can be dealt with via WhatsApp. It's possible, of course, for counsel to mute his microphone and to turn his video off and make a call, as long as that party is not giving evidence, of course, or to ask for 5 minutes to do so. Obviously, a Zoom conference beforehand would be easy to set up and eminently helpful before the trial starts. So those are just my suggestions on how to get around possible problems which will no doubt arise. As I say, if you're on the YouTube channel, following on from this will be the first video on the protocol and a video on the judicial guidance for PDFs. And keep an eye out, please, for my next video, which will be how to format properly in accordance with the judicial guidance.